Good evening, everybody. So, how many are you new tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4. Okay, only a few. Okay. Okay. So, who are new tonight? So, just a message for you. Almost all of my lecture videos will be uploaded on my YouTube channel. That is named CSITED, Computer Science and Information Technology Education Experts. So if you go to YouTube and this channel, so this is my YouTube channel, and then if you come here and click on the playlist, okay, then you will see I have CSE1322 Spring 2020 section 3. Your section 3, right? I parallelly teach another section online. So this my recorded lecture videos are applicable for both you and online students. Okay, so if you go to this playlist and you see that this is my last lecture or first lecture I have uploaded. So who are new, so please watch this lecture video at least one time before you come to our next lecture. Okay, do you understand? Especially who are new. Okay, then you will understand, you will see what new tools and technologies we will be using and what are our guidelines and our first year experience programs, expectation and objectives. You will find everything. Okay, so I'm updating the syllabus, but I could not complete it. Maybe hopefully I will do it soon by this weekend. So if you go to our first year experience program website, this is ccse.kenesa.edu/fye. This is our website, then you can get about our information. So if you are new at Kenesa State University, please spend some time to be familiar with our system, okay? And please follow the course schedule. Okay, so this course schedule page, if you click over here, CSE 1322, this is the course. I see that today I have updated it, and this is currently version 3. Even yesterday it was version 2. Okay, so in version 3 I have changed the test 3 date and content. So please follow this latest version. Even in next time if you see version 4.0 or 3.1, 3.2, follow that one, latest one. Okay, and if you find any inconsistency, please let me know, we will solve it. So far I think this should be good. Okay, and we will use archive in order to take your attendance. Attendance is not compulsory, but it is expected and highly encouraged. So if you do not come in this lecture, you are good. It is not required. I will not take any hard-coded attendance, but we will use this archive app. This is available on iOS and Android as app. So please download this archive app and use this 6S76M. S76M. This is the code for archive. So just if you are new here, register into this course with this archive code. Okay, and for our attendance policy and other policies, please do not ask me any question until you watch my first video. Okay, if you watch my first video, then if you do not understand anything, then ask me question. And in case you cannot give your attendance, you have to send me an email within the class period time, class duration time. Okay, I will not accept any attendance schedule after the class is ended. Okay, so in our last lecture, actually in our first lecture, we actually went through our first year experience program. These slides we discussed about most of our policies and then objectives and then course outline. So please watch and review my first recorded lecture in order to get more information. But people who are new tonight, okay, you did not miss a lot of things. If you watch my recorded lecture video, you will get everything, okay, except this one. So people who are new, can you please raise your hand? Okay, this is the task activity we did last week, in our last lecture. What is the result of this one? People who are new. Yes. Yes. What is? Huh? 0? Don't shy, okay? Who are new? Yes. 16. Okay. Anyone has a different answer? 0 or 1 or something? Okay. Okay, this is a simple math. Maybe it's not an algebra. Maybe in middle school math. Maybe not in high school. Even high school math. Okay, you missed this. You discussed this in our last lecture. But as we mentioned that this is not our goal to teach math in this course, and this is not my goal to teach English. As you have noticed that I'm not a native American speaker, English speaker. I'm not good in English. Also, I'm not good in math. Okay, I have my undergraduate degree in math. I studied math. So when people ask me, my father actually was a math teacher, high school math teacher. So people ask me, why do you study math? Your father is a math teacher, so you are studying math. I don't know, I am weak in math. This is why I am studying math. Okay, so I am weak in math. I am also weak in English. So I give an option. So if you do not understand my English is, I have bad accent and English is British accent. So if you really do not understand my English, there is maybe a way you can switch to another section. There are better professors who speak English very well. You may switch to that section.
But the good news is if some words kind of get a little lost to us, we can always just rewatch the lecture and listen carefully to the ones we missed.
Yeah, thank you. So good idea is that in order to understand me, my English, please give attention to me. Sometimes you can understand by looking my face or my body language. Okay. Everything I discussed in our last lecture about our rules and restriction, but one thing I did not tell. I have my personal restriction that I want to tell tonight and I want to implement from next lecture. Okay, that is that unless you use any device in order to keep your note, lecture note, okay, you cannot open any device. Sometime I will restrict. You cannot open your device. This course is not a course that you will come here and watch movie or play game or will do Facebooking or social networking. This is not the course. You don't need to come here to stay an hour, spend an hour just for an attendance, right? If you come here, what will the benefit will come? At least the least benefit is you will get an attendance, right? So if you need some attendance, I will give you for free. Okay? But do not come here, do not stay here, just for attendance and just for watching movie and just for playing game. Everybody agree?
Yeah.
Okay, if you do not agree, then you see me or send me an email. Okay, sometime I will restrict not to open any device if there is some, if I need close attention. Okay, yes, you have a question?
Where is the archive code in class?
Archive code is 67 S767.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a 6 first too, not S.
Is okay? Is correct?
S.
A76M. Okay, again I will give you for free attendance for free, okay? If you need it.
Like classes.
I like that people who are in last lecture that everybody promised that everyone wanted to get an A, right? So people who are new, do you want to get an A or B?
I want to get an A.
And for the A, you take the B if you got C after.
Okay, let us make a resolution for 100 days, just for 100 days. If you stay with me, just for 100 days, okay, I believe you will be a good fan of me, you will be my follower all over your life. But if you do not follow my lecture and then other things, then I am not sure that you will be able to succeed in this course. This is not an easy course. Okay. So again, people who need to watch, to keep record, I told you we do not need to know line by line. I will be recording my lecture videos. Karen knows that you are in my last, she was in my last section, right? So you can share your experience. You don't need to keep note line by line. You just write the note, key points. And you will get my video and then you will get all of my programs online, ready, available for free.
We also have access to the slides as well.
Yes. I have hundreds of thousands of programs, complete program for you. Okay, for free. But so again, so if you need to open device, then come forward and sit on the front seat. Especially who sit in the back, I will not allow you to open a device. So if you need to open your device, come early and sit on the front. So let us, okay, so all lecture slides will be available on our first year experience resource page. And then if you go FYE slide repository and then CSE1322. Okay, people who are new tonight, you need to take a lab course, right? Corresponding lab course, right? You understand, right? The lab course will be either C# or Java. I am not teaching any lab course. So if you have any question about your lab course, please send email to your lab instructor first. If that is not solved, then send me email. And I asked you not to send email from D2L. Yeah, I sent maybe another new announcement. Please read the announcement. Okay. And if you look at the schedule, one more thing again, you see on the right column, you see there what you understand. The right column has the quiz due dates, right? Quizzes number 1, 2, 3. This due date will be this date. Okay, and quizzes 4, 5 will be due on this date, and these are the due date. Okay, please follow this schedule all over the semester. I might not be able to give you reminder every day. Let me tell you a story, bad situation. I found a student, at least one student, who did not take any quiz. After the final exam was over. No quiz. He did not take any quiz. I did not grade. I did not actually make the grade sheet. Okay, we have a GA. She makes the grade sheet. right after or before the final, the student emailed me that, oh, professor, sorry, I did not notice that there are quizzes. What I could do at that time?
It's too late.
Yeah, it was too late, right? So there are quizzes. These exactly this kind of schedule paper. It exactly tell us how to what is the due date for quizzes.
Can I say something there?
Yes,
real
please.
fast? So I get that we need to make sure we look at this and we follow this, but like when you actually look at the quiz itself, it doesn't say that it closes until way past the due date. The like you know how it says like it began this time, it's this time. Like the ending time when you put the actual quiz is way later than the due date on the schedule. I understand we need to pay attention to the schedule.
Okay, thank you. I will check. So if you find any inconsistency, let me email me. Okay, whatever is saying. Okay, and our policy is that if you miss one test, then that will be make up in your final by your final, replaced by your final. But if you miss two or more tests, only one will be replaced, other will be 0. And people who will take all 4 tests, their lowest test grade will be, test score will be replaced by the final. If the final is greater than any other lowest score. Okay, what can we do? So let us go to the resource page again. Anyone has any question from our first lecture? Any question? Okay, let us start with our lecture 1. So you see that with our lecture 1, 2, 3, actually during this lecture 1, 2, 3 and 4 maybe, we will mostly review in the first 3 weeks. We will mostly review our 1321 content. So if you are new, if you did not take 1321 with us at KSU, I like you to watch my 1321 lecture videos from the last semester. They are available here. CSE 1321 section 2 fall 19. If you are new at KSU, if you did not take CSE 1321 at KSU, please watch this lecture video. Because your test 1 questions, you will get a lot some questions from 1321, okay? Previous course. So let us start. So in 1321 we discuss. So you see the topic is review of 1321. In some universities it says 1301 or CS1. This course we will mainly review 1321 in this course. Okay, so in 1321 at the beginning we discuss data types, right? There are 8 primitive data types, right? What are those? Okay, byte, short, it says byte, short, int, long, double, float character, okay? But there is a good way to remember that. There are 4 types for whole number, integer, whole number or integer number, okay? Those are called the integer family. Byte, short, int and long. Okay, sorry, I forgot my pen to bring. So for instance, we know that 1 byte equal to 8 bits, right? 1 byte equal to how many? 1 byte equal to how many bits? 8 bits, right? So if this is 1, this is for byte type. 1 byte equal to 8 bits. Okay, so if it takes 2 2 corresponding bytes, then this is short. And then if it takes a 4 byte, then it is integer type. And for long, it takes 8 bytes. Okay. So byte, short, int, and long, these are used for holding whole numbers without any decimal point. These are the siblings. Okay, integer family. Yes.
How many bytes did you say was in an int and a long?
Long 8 bytes.
Long 8 and int how many?
4.
4.
Yeah, 1 byte, short is 2 bytes, and then 4 bytes, and then 8 bytes. Okay, so these are used for keeping whole numbers without any decimal points. And with decimal points, there are 2 types. One is float that takes 4 bytes. Another is double that takes 8 bytes. Okay, there is character that takes only 1 byte, but that is used to hold only one single character. Okay, there is another primitive type that is called bool. In C++, it is called, in C#, it is called bool, and in Java, it is called boolean. That is used to hold either true or false value, nothing else, either true or false. Okay, these 8 are called primitive data types. Okay, these are built-in data type, but there is another built-in data type, that is string. String, when you enclose something within double quote, that is called a string. So most modern languages now have built-in data type as a string. We will discuss that later in this course. So including string, we have 8 plus 1, 9 built-in data types. But these 8, except in C# we use string, S is in lowercase or in uppercase. Both is applicable in C# language. But in Java we use S is in uppercase. That is that one difference between Java and C#. Okay. So if we have only 1 byte, then we can hold a small number. Okay. We have long data type, then we can hold a very, very large number. For instance, if we want to say how many miles a light ray passes in 100 light years, very, very long distance, right? We can hold that number using a long type variable. And we can, if we say, wow, what is the weight of an atom? Or an electron, or a proton? Very, very low, right? Then we can use to hold that number double type. Otherwise, we can use float number for holding decimal points. So decimal points, in order to hold decimal points, we use float and double. These are the siblings these are 2 siblings. These 4 are 1 sibling. These 4 are siblings for integer type. These 2 are siblings for decimal type. This is for character type, 1 character. And this boolean is for only keeping true or false value, and this string is used for holding a bunch of characters, a group of characters. And character is 1 character, and but string is any number of characters. You should be familiar with this, right? Everybody should be familiar with this. So in order to hold the data, you have a question? Yes.
So I know that, like with int, byte, short, int, and long, they have a specific amount of memory that they hold no matter what you put in it. Does string change to how much memory it's holding depending on how much you put in there?
No, string does not have any limitation. But as usually we say sometimes infinite, but I don't know. It's a good question. Actually, how many can it
Because
hold?
is it wasteful in code to use a string when you could use a character in
You can hold all content of a file, whole database content in a one single stream. You can hold. But maybe there should have a limit. Sometimes we say infinite, unlimited, but unlimited has a limit also, right? Sometimes we say that an ocean has unlimited water, but it is not unlimited. It has a limit. God knows. Yes.
Did you say byte could apply to doubles and floats
No.
as well?
Byte cannot hold double and float. Double and float are used to hold decimal numbers.
Right. Okay. I just thought I thought I heard you say I thought I heard you give a number of bytes for that. Sorry.
Okay. So in order to hold a number, we use variable, right?
Yes.
We use variable to hold a number, to hold some data, hold any data. So without using a variable, we cannot work with data. So everybody like, what is a variable? A variable is a name of a memory location. What is memory? Computer memory, that is RAM, random access memory, right? It has also flash drive, CD drive, there are secondary memory. Primary memory is RAM, that is, we do not see that primary memory. For instance, we have our brain, we said we hold something, we remember something in our brain, right? But it is not visible from outside. We know that we have a brain inside our head. Okay, we believe that, but we do not open up. Okay, so we use variable in order to hold a data. Without using any variable, we cannot use any data. For instance, in this world, in our real world, when a baby is born, we give him or her a name, right? Right?
Yes.
Is there any baby without name?
Possibly, but I mean, if
For a few
really-
months, for a few days, right? But you cannot get a birth certificate without a name of your baby, right? Can you get a baby? I'm not sure. In the USA, can you get a birth certificate of a baby unnamed? You cannot get a baby certificate, right? So like a variable name, so for instance, we have a name, everybody has a name, right? Our name. So why do we use a name? In order to identify people, right?
Differentiate.
Yeah. Think about that, this technique, how efficient for us to have a name. If we did not have a name, if we did not have a naming concept, how would we remember our friends, family members, or other stuff, right? It will be difficult, right? So that similarly, we use variable. We are lucky that we can use a variable in order to give name of a memory location. So we give a name of a person, right, or child. Similarly, we give name for a variable or a memory location. Okay, what is the advantage of having a name of a memory location? That we cannot see the memory location, right? But when we give a name, you automatically assign by variable, it automatically assigned to a memory location. And for computer, it can retrieve the data directly by going that location, or by just using the name, variable name. For us, it is convenient to use the name. For instance, everybody, we are familiar with how to use our phone in order to save number, contact, right? We save our friends and family numbers as a contact list, right? As a when you make a call, we select or search for a number, for a name, right? And we find the name and we press on the call button, right? So when we press on the call button, where the actual call goes? Call goes to the name or the number? Number, right? So number is saved against a name, right? So remember that how efficient is that? If there is no technology to save your friend's name by numeric number, by alphabetic name, right? How would you save your friend's name? If it did not allow you to write A, B, C, D, why do you save your friend's name? How can you save your friend's name?
Ask you.
It will be more difficult, right? How difficult will be? Think about that, right? It will be very difficult. But it is very convenient for us. We can save our friends and family members' name as like a name, real name.
It would either not let us save either, and we'd have to remember the number off the top of our
So
head.
how many friends number you can remember?
And remember who it went to.
Yeah.
Or it would save the number but not have a name with it. So you have to figure out, okay, whose number was this, whose number was this, whose number was this.
Okay, so
It'd
these
be a
are
lot more awkward.
yeah, but it is more convenient for us. It is very convenient for us when we are able to save our friends' name number by name, right? Actual real name or actual alphabetic. Okay. So that is like the video. In computer programming, okay. So the variables are like the contact list name. So against one each of the, for instance, if I say int my number, so then this will be int my number will be a variable. It will take how many bytes in memory? 4 bytes in memory, and you can put a value over there. So when you put this value, you say my number equal to 42. 42 will be placed over there, will be saved over there. So this saving actually goes, this data already saved in temporary memory, RAM. So unless you save this in real data file or somewhere persistently, as soon as you close this program will be gone. This data will be gone. Like these seats, you are sitting over here, right, on the bench. As soon as you leave, our lecture finish, and some student may come over here and sit, right? So each seats can carry different person, different student, right? Okay, the who will be using this seat can vary. So this is what we call this variable. Okay, but if there is a situation when you come, if there is a situation that you have to bring your own seat in this room, and you have to take it away with you when you leave, that will be more difficult, right? Okay, so variable makes are efficient. Okay, so when you put integer, then you remember that integer, short, long, then we know that we can hold only whole number, right? For double and float, we can use decimal number. We can use any decimal point, right? Okay, for even if you say integer and then if you put 40.2.5 for integer number, only 42 will be saved, and the number after the decimal point will not be saved.
Because it's an integer.
Yeah, so it will not allow you to. Okay, remember that one thing. So for some languages, if we use float type, then you have to give at the end of the value, you have to give an F, either F in uppercase or in lowercase. But for double type, you don't need to give. Okay, one thing that I discussed, that for a byte type it takes 1 byte, right? So there are you can hold the variable value negative 128 to positive 127 including 0. For a byte type, short type, you have 2 bytes. So the more space you have, you can hold more larger value or larger amount. Okay, but for instance, an integer type takes 4 consecutive bytes, and long type takes 8 consecutive bytes. Okay, so it is worthy to, if you want to use, if you know that your value will be very short, your data will be very small, for instance, to give ID 1 2 3 4 5 of 100 student, a byte type should be more appropriate, that every student's ID will take 1 byte. Less memory, it will take less memory, program will be faster, convenient. But for our short program, we will discuss that in our lecture or in the book. Very small program, we usually use integer type, because very small program we don't care about size, how much, because we have huge memory. For instance, we have gigabyte or terabyte memory space. Okay, one thing remember that for float type we have to use F right at the end, right? Otherwise most compilers will make you an error. I will come back here later. So I think by this time you should know how to use keyboard in order to enter a value, take a value of a variable, and how to display a value using print method. I will come back here later. I have 25 slides to go over. I will come back later if I have time. Okay. So this is the IO console for Java people. Just I like you to remember these two lines. If you don't understand, memorize. Just by the end of this course, you will understand what is meant by scanner. Maybe in 3 weeks after test 1, you will understand. When you start class, you will understand what is meant by scanner, what is meant by system, what is meant by in. But for now, just please remember, memorize these two codes. In order to enter a string like your name or your address, you need to use a scanner, and we need to use these ways. The last 2 lines, remember this. Okay. In order to add include an integer number, for instance your age, we need to use next int. In order to enter your maybe weight or height that may have decimal points, 5.3 inch maybe height, you need to use next float. So these are the built-in methods. This is scanner is a built-in class, and these are the built-in methods we use. For Java people, please remember this, and for C# people, please remember these 2 lines. Console.readline, and in order to input an integer number, we need to parse that, especially the read line. It enter as a string, we have to convert that string as an integer, so we use int 32-bit int, and I must be in uppercase and P must be in uppercase. For now, C# people, please memorize this code. Okay, these 2 lines, you will learn this clearly in future. But sometime we will use pseudocode in our lecture, but maybe after the first test we will not allow you to write pseudocode in your test. We encourage you to write actual program code. It's not difficult. Okay. In order to use pseudocode, when we use pseudocode, in order to read something, we use read, and our read should be all in uppercase. And for print, in order to display something on monitor, we use print all in lower uppercase. So data validity, right? In order to use variable, we need to put a valid data. For instance, if we put a value, for instance tax rate, we know that tax rate is 7%, right? We set 7%, we cannot use 7% like this sign. Instead of using percentage, that we use another technique that we say 0.07, 0.07 like this. Okay, for C# people, for instance, if you want to input your name using keyboard, then these are the 2 lines. These are the 2 lines we have to use, and just this line will give you a prompt. So this line I like you to remember this line. Okay, memorize this line. And for Java people, please remember these 2 lines. Just memorize. Okay, even you understand or do not understand, memorize, then I will see. And for now, sometime you will use print, just print. This is a method, right? So you know the what is the technique to understand or know this is the method? Just this parenthesis. If you see a parenthesis after something, then you remember that this is a method or function. When a function is defined within a class, then that is called a method. We will use the word method and function interchangeably. Sometimes I may say method, sometimes I may say function. Same thing. How do we know that this is a function or method? Just if I see a parenthesis. So in order to, sometime you will see that we will shortcut, by shortcut we will write print. That means in C, if I write print or tell print, C# people, please consider this. Okay, remember that I am meaning console.writeLine, word print, and Java people, please consider that as print is this line statement. Okay, so in your test, if you write print this way, it will be accepted. Okay, but if you forget to give the parenthesis, then that will not be accepted. So next, everybody knows how to use if statement, right? For checking a condition, right? If statement, after if there is a condition, we put a condition. If the condition is true, then it executes the statement block next to it. If that is not true, then this block will not be executed, right? We also expand if with else. If the condition is false, then the if block is executed, right? We can use multiple if statement, right? Or we can check using else if. We can use if, else if, else if, else if. Many times. So these are the 1321 contents. So whenever we see we have, if we have only one statement, right? If you see that over here, I am writing only print, right? It is only print. Print means in C# people, remember that this is console.writeLine, okay? And Java people, consider that as a system.out.println. Yes.
With like integers in C#, if you're doing like a read, you have to do like a convert to N32 console.readLine.
Yes.
Is it acceptable for us just to put read? We don't have to put the convert or anything.
So that is, if that is acceptable for pseudocode. In some test, from test 2 or afterward, we will not allow you to write pseudocode.
Can we just, so we can just write console.writeLine?
Yeah, we will discuss that later in this time. So in the, hopefully we will, in your test, you will not be asked to write a program to enter your number. You will not be asked that kind of silly question. That is 1321 question. You understand that the goal of this course is we will teach object-oriented programming, right? Object-oriented programming principles. Many of you, some of you may be familiar with object-oriented concepts. But there is a new and good programming technique. You will be familiar with object-oriented programming. Okay, let's see. I have few more slides. Let's go. So whenever we have multiple statements, more than one statement, then we must enclose the statement with a block, with opening and closing brace. But some languages like Python does not have like brace system, right? It has indentation. So we are not using Python in this course. So if there are multiple statements, then we have to enclose with brace. But if you have a single statement, still you can enclose with the brace. That's good. It is a good idea to use brace. Okay, braces. Okay, then we know method. How do know that this is the method? Can anyone please tell me that this is a method? The shortcut technique is that whenever you see a pair of parentheses, then this is a method. Some methods will be, this is our maybe our custom method. This is our method, and print is already another method. So how do I know that this is a method? It has a parenthesis. Shortcut technique, okay? Remember that this is a method. So we can use one or more existing or custom method in order to develop another method. The goal of using a method in order is to reuse our code, to concise our program. Okay. So this is the format of a method. A method must have a return type. Some languages implies return type if we do not explicitly write return type. Example, like C#, like C++, C or C++. Languages, if you even do not put return type, it thinks integer type. Okay, then after that method name, and then parameter. This is the parenthesis. Within parenthesis, we put parenthesis. Whenever we declare some variables within a parenthesis, within the parenthesis of the method, then we call this variable as parameters or argument. When we call this method, then we provide actual value against these parameters. Okay, and then all statements of a method is enclosed by braces, right? Even one single line, we must enclose in brace, even this one single line. And at the end of the statement and the end of a method, there is a return statement. If you do not want to return a value from a method, then we say return type void. If a method has a void return type, it can have a return type, but it cannot return any value. These are the thing 1321 course content. Okay. So writing a method in pseudocode format is difficult. You see that in pseudocode you have to write method keyword, and at the end you have to write method and then method name. It says method is great choice, my method, and this is the parenthesis. Okay, many students, even some of you will do this mistake. You write when you write pseudocode, many of you will forget to give this parenthesis. This is not correct. Okay, how can I see that this is a method? If you lose this, if you do not give this parenthesis, this is not a method. Okay, this is a compulsory part to declare a method. Okay, you see that again you have to write in begin, then end, and there are some extra stuff. So this could be done easily in actual program code. So writing, especially when you declare a class, if for a class contains some methods and some variables, it needs long time, many codes to write in pseudocode format. This is why we encourage not to write pseudocode when you declare a class. There are some things that is not depictable, that cannot be described using pseudocode, and it's difficult. This is why we encourage not to use pseudocode in this course. So this is the pseudocode of this method, and then you see that the program code is maybe concise. Okay, and you should be familiar with do while and do while loop, right? So the do while loop, it executes the statements at least one time, and after it executes the statement, it checks the condition. If the condition is true, then it goes back to the loop again. Okay, but for while loop, it checks the condition first. If the condition is true, then it goes into the loop body. For do while, you see there is a semicolon after the while, but for while statement there is no semicolon. So this method has a return type, integer type. So at the end it should return it must return an integer type value. So its choice is an integer type, so it can return this something integer type. Okay, so if you have a return type, for instance non-integer side void, if you have a return type that is you do not have a return type, that means you have a void, then you cannot, can we have a return statement? This is a interview question. Okay, our first interview question, if you have this, listen carefully, this is an interview question. Okay, many of you will go to for job interview or internship interview, maybe this summer or next summer, right? If you have a method with, he is in our case, with return type, with no return type or return type void, can you have a return statement? Huh? Yes, you can have a return statement, but you cannot have a return value. You can have like this,
Just return.
you can say just return, you can have this. Returns means go, return to the caller method. Okay, but if you have void, then you cannot return a value, but you can have a return statement. So this is a return statement, right? So this is why it's critical, this is why it is an interview question. Okay, and throughout this course maybe I will tell you something, the interview question, write down this interview questions. Okay, maybe at the end of this semester you will get 40-50 interview questions, then that will be a good thing for you to be prepared for job interview. Our goal is to prepare you for job interview as well. Okay, so when I say interview question, please give attention. You can check it, it's possible. Okay, so we know for loop, right? We use a for loop to, Karen, we use a for loop in order to execute a block of statements.
Were you saying that the return type question was the interview question?
Yes,
Okay. So,
I said if the question is that if a method has no return type, that is, if a method has a void return type, can you have a return statement? We can have a return statement, but my question is that can you have a return statement? I did not say can you have a return value. Okay, if I say return, can you have a return value? Can you return a value? No. If I say can you have a return statement? Yes. Yes.
So the return is or isn't there, it's not doing anything since it's void, right?
No. Okay, let me finish. If I can have some time, I will discuss this. But definitely I will discuss later, okay? You and me in the next lecture. We will discuss return statement, or if you can watch my previous 1321 lecture videos. We discuss this, but I need some time. Let me finish this. Okay, I have 6 more slides, 5 more slides. So we use pseudocode. We use for loop in order to execute a statements more than one times, right? Okay. So in the for loop, so as I mentioned that it is when we see something with a pair of parentheses, then it is a method, right? So in that sense, for loop is a method, but it is an exceptional. We do not say it is a method, but it is a for. You can say for method, since I give you a clue that if you get something with parentheses, then that is a method. But actually, this is an exception. It is not a method. Maybe it is a built-in method. You can consider that. So in the for loop, we put this value initially. This is our initial variable value. Assigned this initial statement will be executed only one time, for the first time, okay? And it goes, it checks the condition. It will tell how many times it will be executing. And after every loop, it will increase or decrease by this value, third value. So we can put this value with the different value with semicolon in between. Sometimes you may have like this. I'm sorry, why it is not working? My card is not working. So if I have something like this, then it will be an infinite loop, right? I do not have any ending point. So you know for loop, and then do while, and there is an important difference between while and do while. I just discussed do and do while. Okay, this is the pseudocode for do and do while. This is the while loop. Okay, how many minutes I do have? 12 minutes. Maybe give me 10 more minutes. Let me discuss something. Okay, let us go to a live program. How many of you are familiar with replete? R-E-P-L-I-T. Actually, let me ask reverse order. How many of you are not familiar with replete? Don't worry, don't feel shy, please tell me the truth. How many of you are not familiar with replete or do not have any account on replete? You do not have any account on replete. Okay, quickly open your computer and create an account right now if you have a computer. Okay, creating an account on replete is free and is quick. It's possible. You can use your personal email address to create an account. Okay, no problem. Or you can use your KSU account, no problem. Okay, but create an account on replete. Replete actually is an IDE, one line IDE. So if you say replete repl.it. Okay, replete repl.id is a San Francisco based startup and an online IDE. It supports almost 40 programming languages. We will use in this course only 2 languages, C# and Java. It should be good enough to use almost 90% of our programs. Actually, we will use Java, what is that called? We will use Eclipse to write a Java program, and we will use Visual Studio for C#, but for quickly we can use replete in order to write our program. This is an online editor or IDE. Okay, IDE means integrated development environment. It will allow you to create your program, it will allow you to write your program, and then allow you to edit your program, save your program, run your program. So are you able to create an account? People who do not have. So if you do not have your computer right now, please go home, and the first thing you will do, you will create a replete account. Okay, so if you go to replete repl.it, then slash, then @ my name Mukhtar, here, then just click over here. You will see I have about 100 programs saved over here. These are the programs that I discussed in last semester. We may be using these programs as well as we will create our new programs. Okay, so if you want to find a program over here, so just click, say let me find okay, let us create. So if you are new over here, so you can create a new replete. Let us create a new program. Okay, just click on new, then it will allow you to select a language, which language you want to write your program in. Okay, so let us do it Java for now. So you have to give a name of your replete. Okay, my hello world example 2, then I want to put in Java. This is the way I write my name, program file name, so that I can remember what is the program name. Then click on the create REPL. So this will be our Java program. This is the basic Java program, okay, with only a single statement, hello world, right? Okay, so let us, so if I run this program, if you want to run this program, just click on the run button, right? Then on the right side on the black screen, it is called console. It will give you the result or output of this program. Sometimes it may take a few seconds to run it. It depends on the internet speed. Okay, so I say hello world. This is my output. So hello world over here is a, what is data type of this hello world? Can anyone help me? String. Whenever we find something enclosed with double quotes, then that is a string, right? So I can say, instead of giving hello world directly within my print method, this is my println method, right? Okay, people who are new, for now just memorize this code, and with replete you cannot change your main method name. Okay, do not change the main name, do not change any name, and you cannot use public or something. Just keep as is, and whatever change you will need, you will do over here. You can, if you need to create another class, you can do right after this class. If you need to do another method, then after this method you can write another method over here. So here hello world is a string, right? So instead of giving this string directly, I can say hello world. Can I do like this way? Okay, no, but if you want to make it yes, but what changes we need to do? We need to create a variable named hello world, right? So hello world equal to, we can say hello world. So this is a string, right? So what it will be, so in order to declare a variable in Java and C#, we first declare its data type, right? So what is its data type? String. In C++, I need to put string, right? I say string hello world equal to hello world. That is, this is my variable, is called string. We will discuss more about string later. Okay, and if we run this program, is there any difference in my output? No, same output. But previously I did not have any variable, but now I have a variable. What is the name of the variable? Hello world, right? One more thing, that when we use our primitive data types, like for instance, if we say, I need 4 or 5 more minutes. Okay, so I say integer x equal to 0, integer y equal to 0. These are our primitive data types. Okay, so integers, say whenever we say primitive data types, integer x, y, or integer type, then we say variable. And whenever we say you use non-primitive, that is string is non-primitive, is a class type, then we say this hello world is an object. Okay. Okay, now let us check. If I print x plus plus, what will be my output? Okay, let us forget about this line. What will be my output?
No. Is it 0?
Yeah, this is why my question. What will be 0 or 1?
Maybe 1.
Give me 2 more minutes, please. You will learn something new.
That would be 0 and 1.
Okay, so what will be output for this line?
0,
And what will be output for this line?
1.
Okay. Anyone has any different opinion?
I think it's the other way around. Yeah.
Okay. Your name Said? what is your name? Said?
Last name Syed.
Sai, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I can remember anyway, okay? So you're correct. Sai is correct, okay? So this is the postfix operation, postfix operator, incremental operator, right? So, and this is the prefix notation. So while in postfix notation, the operators goes after the operand, and what is the technique that, so it works with the old value. It works with the old value, okay, and then the new value will be implemented next time. So if I print over here x, okay, so remember that here is x, I don't need to print x and y, right? X and y is definitely 0, right? At this point x and y equal to 0. So at this point x will be, it will be printing 0. It will be taking its old value, and after is printing its old value, it will be increase x by 1. That increment will be used here. And for instance here, if I say plus y, it will first increment its value, called prefix notation. Just remember that whenever it said previous before, then it will increment first, and then it will print y. Yes, your question? Sorry? Let us see. Yes. So your question was this, right? Your question is that if I move this line to here, right?
No, you copy the line above it. So the x paste it again.
You copy this line. Okay, if I copy this line,
Yep.
where? Put where? Copy or cut?
Like 2 in a row.
2 in a row.
Okay. You are smarter than me. Okay, let us think. What will do? Okay, so since I have x and y same value, let us put y equal to 10. Okay, so this one will put, and this one will put, okay, and this one will put, okay. So you agreed, right? 0, 1, and 2. That's correct. So what is your question?
If it would add another one.
Okay, so if we add another one, okay, so I have a question for you. So if I put like this, what will happen? What is your question? What is your answer?
Oh, yeah, you're right. 022. 022, yeah.
Okay, you got my program. Okay, spend some time when you go home. Spend some time and to understand and to play with this program until you become clear. So here's right. Okay, so it will be, this one will be printing 0, and this statement will be printing 2, and after this it will be printing 2. 0, 2, and 2. Okay. So, have you learned something new tonight?
I learned that you can return something.
Try yourself. Try yourself at home. Yes. Huh? Sometimes you need to, you not need to go with some condition.
So, I mean, it's kind of like the command line. Because, like, I've never heard it.
Yes. So watch my video from 1321, another lecture. Maybe I discuss, but whenever it comes, I will.
Okay. Because, I'm just mess around with GitHub